The state of DragonBallSparkingZero. Right. Before I get into my current thoughts about the state of SparkingZero, the way that this game could potentially go, I want to show you guys a video first. The video is about how I felt at the time before I believe DLC 2. It is my raw emotion while on stream talking about the game. The reason why I wanted to put this out is because it feels like something that needed to come from somebody who did play the game constantly, was ready for the game when it came out, and still wants to play the game constantly, mind you, right? The only reason I'm not playing the game currently or haven't touched the game in a while is because of health issues. But the reason I want to put this out and then give my take is because I feel like I can be a middle ground for a balance of perspective. I've also played the older games, Budokai, all the way through to Raging Blast, all the way to where we are now with SparkingZero. And then obviously, you know, also participated in the almost 20-year wait, which is crazy, crazy to say. Before the game even came out, I was sidelined with injury. I had a literal surgery a couple of days before the game even released, even though I had bought it. And then in my pained state, in a state where I was drugged out of my mind still, I still managed to play the game and reach a stage where I was doing absolutely great. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I basically was trying to crack top 10 with Berto, and I think I cracked top 10, top 5, like within the first week. And then the rest of the weeks I had to recover, so I didn't play the game and then I played it. But yeah, I believe my opinion is somewhat valid as somebody who is making content, yes, but has only recently started making content for SparkingZero, but wanted to earlier on during its healthier life cycle, so to speak, its healthier life cycle. So I hope that you guys kind of get on board with what I'm talking about. I'm also in the Twitter space for SparkingZero, as well as the newer space called the World Series, right? Which, if anybody from Twitter is here, let's not debate about which group is healthier to be in. Let's not do that. I want to talk about all of us as a collective and really push forward from that. Now, here's a clip basically of me just ranting about the things that were in the game already, but this came from a place deep within. It was on stream, it was full on, almost as if I had enough of the chat. I had enough of it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys get where I was coming from at the time, and stay for a little bit after the video, because after that, I will then give how I feel about the game right now, as of August 2nd, 2025, reaching up to nearly a year of SparkingZero's existence. When it comes to the reviews and a lot of the thumbs down for lack of content, when we gained, right? We gained as a community for the first time ever to create our own what ifs. I'm talking about with camera view, I'm talking about with dialogue options, I'm talking about with characters that can do things, say things, you can put it down below, like what they've said. I'm talking about stuff like that. You know, you can create your own what if scenarios and make them true or not and then upload them, because you can upload them. That's the thing that Sparking had. And you know what's crazy? The ability to create your own content meant that there somehow was a lack thereof. Make that make any kind of sense at all? How does that make sense? They give you the ability to literally create your own content. Man, let me get my blood claw out the back rooms for 2 seconds, yeah? All right, let me show you something. Custom battle, a place where you quite literally can create your own battles, your own, from scratch. You can do it yourself. You can choose, start by deciding on the type of battle you want to create. This will affect aspects such as the battle's turn of events, as well as event scenes, so adjust them depending on your preference. Thrilling battles with comebacks, exciting team battles, battles against people, like you can set up scenarios, battles with the odds stacked against me, like you can set up a scenario The screen is the basic editing settings. The items on the left show the different categories that can be customized. Effects, event scenes are not available in simple edit. On the right, currently selected character stage, title, and or information, and other information really, is displayed. Use this to keep track of your changes as you go along. Right, look at this, right? Simply done, simple said, yeah? Simply done, simple said. First, select characters on the list to choose from the characters, right? So you literally choose characters, you can set up a time limit, you can set up restrictions and rules during the fight that limit how it goes. People are just lazy. It's reached a stage where it just feels like people are lazy. Look, people have uploaded that kind of content, right? Of course, you give, you know, if you want to look it up, you give people the ability to make their own content, and obviously it will get weirdly sexual because duh, right? Because you can't stop people from doing depravity, right? Let's be honest, you cannot stop people from doing depravity. You just simply can't. You know, you can't stop people from getting just a little bit mad. You can't stop them from getting a wee bit cheeky, right? That's gonna happen, but that happens with freedom. It's freedom nonetheless to create what you like. You've got thumbnails, you've got character settings, you've got thumbnails, you've got title screens, you've got battle environment, you've got characters, you've got the fact that you can put up as many characters as you want, five minimum, because that's, well, 5 maximum, because that's the amount, right? You can set the villains. You can set the villains to see like what you'd actually want. You can set the heroes to see what you'd actually want. You can do the dialogue if you want. You can switch it up. You can swap them around. You can do literally what you actually like. Oh man, like I was expecting a lot of people to do a ton of what ifs. What if Goku didn't become a Super Saiyan? Or like, what if like some of these probably exist. Some of these probably exist, but a lot of it isn't uploaded by the community, by the community of people. That's what I'm talking about. Lack of content is probably in regards to maps, right? Probably in regards to maps, characters, all this kind of stuff. But the characters are slowly coming in. In my opinion, I feel as though that the game was slightly rushed because Dragon Ball Daima was coming out at the same time that the game was. Maybe a small amount of information that might actually represent the fact that that was true. And the only thing that represents the fact that that was true is the very fact that we got the character of Goku Mini. We got Goku Mini, the anime Daima version of him, with no Super Saiyan form, no Super Saiyan 2, no Super Saiyan 3, no Super Saiyan 4, because that ended up happening later on in the show. Spoilers, obviously, right? That happens later on in the show. Okay? Right? That happens later on in the show, so that's fair enough. The show was coming out literally the same time as the game. And usually with that stuff, just like how it happens in movies and stuff like that, where like there's a book before it and the book has to get finished, or the book doesn't get finished and you end up with things like Game of Thrones. Right? Like how Game of Thrones had a really terrible last season, or some people say couple seasons leading up to the last season, but I digress. When it comes to a video game and what it needs, right? And what it needs to survive, a gaming company needs proper admin control. And when I mean admin control, I mean as in regards to their community, so community support. We feel let down based upon the factors as mentioned before: maps, characters, this, that, and the third, right? But a lot of the complaints from the online community for Sparking definitely helped. But what doesn't help is that offline, right? Even Grok, right? Even Grok, the Twitter thing, right? The Twitter bot that basically, you know, you go to for information and stuff to see if it's right or wrong. Some people do that. Literally said SparkingZero had a lackluster, basically had a lackluster story. The story from the older games in comparison to this game is lackluster. Hell, there's a what if that happens where Gohan becomes evil and he's not a character in the game, but you play against him. Why is that not a thing? Why is a what if character not in the game? Like, I'll give you another example. There's a character that's in one of the arcs for not Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, right? There's a character that's in it that's not in it. That's not in the game. Everyone's like, you put all these movie characters in, but this guy is not in there. and it is Super 17, a 17 that combines with another 17 to make Super 17. But yeah, you know, my thoughts on the game's death, it is a combination of widespread information as well as the fact that its own community basically ate itself alive, with also its community trying to revive the game. It's why I love people like, say for example, Kaizen Kuma. I love people like him, right? People who genuinely want to put the effort in to create discords and communities that want to keep the bullshit out, you know? Keep the bullshit out. If there's anything that I can say about that, it would be to keep the bullshit out. But there are games that have a lot of toxicity in them and they're doing well, they're thriving. Community support is very important. It's very, very important, and it's needed to make sure that a game succeeds. But in the name of Maximilian Dude, for example, a game doesn't die until it literally hits 0. A game doesn't die until literally no one is on it. It's quite sad seeing games die, but games only die when you let it die. And then the worst part is, you know, it just feels like it's very content grabby too. Oh yeah, the game's good. Oh yeah, the game's good. Oh yeah, the game's bad. 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 The game is a fighting game where you just fight someone else. There's 180 characters, and half the time in Z rank stuff you only see like 6 because there's gonna be a meta. Of course there's gonna be a meta. There'll always be a meta. There's a meta in every game. There's a meta in every game. It's really sad seeing an entire edit mode, something that has never existed in any DBZ game ever. There's never been a custom mode where you could do this. I'm not gonna say that the devs are completely absolved of zero error, but they definitely are involved. It's downfall to a degree. Not enough for people to throw hate mobs, which you never should throw a hate mob anyway. But it's stuff like that that just makes me like, oh yeah, Legendary Warrior face-off got added recently as well, which is like a thing where you can face bosses. There was the Dragon Balls thing where it's like you can summon Shenron, you can summon Piranga, you can summon Super Shenron. I don't even see people doing content like trying to collect the Dragon Balls while playing online. Like, I don't see people doing stuff in relation to the game. Half the time I don't see it. Half the time I do not see it. I'll leave it there for that. I'll be honest. For Sparking anyway. Yeah, like, people talk about content. It's not like that content wasn't there before. I won't even leave it there, right? I've got one more thing to talk about. One more thing.
Oh, hey, Dad.
When I say that they're not absolved of things, like say for example Vegeta, my boy Vegeta in the background, right? This man's over here, you know, looking a wee bit sad, right? He's over there. He doesn't even get a story arc, considering the fact he's literally the second to Goku. He's with Goku near enough 90 to 95% of the time, and he didn't get a character arc in one of the super episodes that they put in episode battle.
I'll show you.
Oh,
just
man.
Wait.
The game has a lot. The content is now in your face. And where are you? Gone. Gone. You're all gone. So, now that you guys have listened to all of that, I will now give exactly what my thoughts are in relation to the game. I want to make a really big statement here by saying we need to make our own content. I really want to say this directly to the community in general. We need to make content for it. A lot of hate, a lot of controversy has fueled a lot of situations, but I just want it to be plain and simple, plain as day. We need to sort this out. It is up to us to sort it out. A lot of great people are creating great content in there. Shout out to Akun. Shout out to a load of other people as well who also participated in making the World Series a place for content and a place to just have fun. Anyway, moving on from that, I just want to say I like where the game is now, but I also understand its need for improvement. And the devs are also at fault. Almost just a little bit more than we are at fault for the game's collapse. I don't think I've seen a game collapse the way that it has in an extremely long time. especially of this scale, of this caliber. And of course, this video would not move forward unless I mentioned Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles, a game that has been shown quite a bit of love, you know, and a lot of people are saying this is what happens when not gonna mention names, Dawn. That, you know, this is what happens basically when Bandai is not involved. Demon Slayer has been shown a lot of love, and it's the same kind of love we as a community wish SparkingZero had, right? So, my thoughts on the game is that I like everything about the game, and the game does need its changes. It does need its updates. It does need love. That's what it needs, man. It needs a small amount of love. And it's not even that much. It's just a small amount. Small fixes in relation to the movement of the game, in relation to the alignment of characters when fighting, in relation to the netcode needs an update as well. I'm not sure if we will get this, but it needs an update really badly, you know. And when people talk about content, the only thing that I could imagine them adding is survival mode. That is literally the only thing I could imagine them adding. That would be a thing that gives people the content that they want, barring, you know, the legendary warrior face-off that we got, and maybe an addition to the story mode, right? Because the story mode needs a heavy update as well. I'll be honest, it needs more episodes, okay? That is the situation that we as a community are involved in. It's just small tweaks that could make this game very good, to a point no one will talk about it, right? I know there are other things like people saying we can update rush chains and things like that, but trust me, you don't want to get into that kind of situation where you start forgetting people's rush chains, especially with the talk about flying kicks in the rush chain. But I think that's a topic for that's a topic for another video, right? But yeah, that's my take. I love this game, right? I love the Dragon Ball games. I love SparkingZero. I will be honest. Right now, that is where I'm at. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a little bit of a rant, but you know, I've already shouted out the people that I wanted to shout out in the Twitter space before, but I really want to give a really big thank you to a lot of the creators that have continued to create content for the games, right? Don Coolio, Ambassador Plays, you know, Grandmaster Hawk, even Daijobu, Unofficial Sky, Quad A, like these guys, right? Including a lot of other people as well, Steve Dodge, you know, all these guys, right? The collective who have continued to make content for this game have really kept it alive, and the Twitter spaces have done the same. The only thing that we need to do as a collective is to keep it healthy. Anyway, man, I'm the Nearly Man doing nearly things. I'll see you guys later. Oh, and Bandai, where the hell is Super 17? Yes, you're invited to the cookout.